Riding Lights Theatre Company presents Wordplay. Season 1, The Passion. Episode 3, The Widow. Come with me now. Come with yourself. Come with your sorrow and your fears of the future. Come with me to the shadow of a tomb by which a widow sits. It's Tuesday, but what does that matter? For she's wrapped in black cloth forever now. Her mourning garments shredded and rent. A woman whose clothes are made of nothing but absence and anxiety.
He passed. I lost him, like a limb. And now it's hard to keep a hold of anything. I lost him. Fever came hard and then left, taking my naphtali with it. I don't have much except the kindness of my neighbours, the goodness of God, my own wits. Perhaps that's more than enough. Is it? I don't know. I'm a little lost myself. They're taking my home soon. Our house. We bought our house with help from the Temple Bank. They own the land. My husband, Naphtali, he said it would be all right. He said the land isn't anyone's if it isn't God's, so what could be more right than borrowing money from the temple? And it felt right. Now he's gone. It feels wrong. I got given this paper, this legal order. It says the temple wants its money back because he's dead. Because I can't pay money, and because I'm a widow with no prospects, they have to take my home back in payment of the debt I owe to God. So I went to the temple. My neighbour, Miriam, she sells fruit. She said,
"Take a house from a widow? Never. You need to tell them. Tell them it's not right. Tell them you need more time. They're priests. They're bound to understand. Tell them."
No, I'm not going to the temple to argue. I'm going to pray. I'm going to make an offering.
An offering? To them what's taking your home? Are you mad, woman?
I want to.
It don't matter what you want. You've nothing to give. Here, if you want to make an offering, let me give you something to put in.
But then it wouldn't be my offering, I said. I need God to help.
You can't buy God.
I know. I'm trusting him. And there's the difference.
Don't go to the temple with your money. Don't,
she said. But love her as I do, I went anyway. But I could hardly get through the Nicanor gate to the temple courts to make my offering. It was packed with priests and guards, Pharisees, Sadducees, Herod's people, all sorts. There was a moneychanger shouting at a temple guard.
"Why don't you arrest him? Yesterday, he comes here, trashing the tables, and you don't do nothing. And today he's back, and instead of locking him up, you're just standing there. He's right there for the taking. Jesus of Nazareth. Don't just stand there, do something. Get off me. You can't do this. I work here."
And this man, this moneychanger, is pulled out of the way because it seems there is already enough trouble and they won't stand for any more. Once the gate is clear, I move on through and inside. And it's busy now. And I see the high priest, Caiaphas, in his finery watching from above, surrounded by the temple guard. And he's looking down at some kind of debate in the treasury courtyard. He's looking down at a man, burnt by the sun, surrounded by all the priests. He's talking with them as if he's a priest. But no priest I know has outdoor skin. Priests spend their days in parchment and in the cool shade of temple walls. Priests I know have fine clothes and keep themselves pristine. This man's ragged around the edges, his clothes rough, his face as weathered as a farmer's. Just like my Naphtali. This man has outdoor skin. And I'm in the queue, the 13th queue. Each queue leads to a treasury chest. Each chest is for a different offering. Wood offerings, bird offerings, spice offerings, temple dues, and the rest. But I'm in the 13th queue for the 13th chest. Free will offerings. And the queue snakes past the priest, and because it's Passover, the queue is long. And because of the debate with the priests, it's moving twice as slowly. So, as I get closer, one of the Pharisees, all pale skin and eyes small and shrunk with study, asks,
Jesus of Nazareth, they say you're a teacher, a worker of miracles. They say it perhaps because you say it. What have you to say to that?
And this Jesus says nothing. He just smiles, listens. Then the temple priest says,
Who gave you the authority to teach? Man or God?
And then Jesus answers, Who told John the Baptist that he can baptize people? Man or God? And the priest, Nicodemus, I think his name was, didn't have an answer for that. For any answer he gave would cause trouble. So Nicodemus says,
I don't know.
And then Jesus said if a priest of the temple wasn't going to answer, then he wasn't about to answer either. Then the priest comes back fast. He has a list of questions, prepared, a list of traps. One wrong answer and the crowd would turn on Jesus. Nicodemus says,
Teacher, it's clear that you want to serve God. Rome taxes us hard. Should we, as the people of God, pay Rome when they do not serve God?
And I know it's over, for if he says yes, then he's a collaborator. All the people, the folk with outdoor skin, will turn against him, for he's not of God. If he says no, then he's a rebel. And one word in Rome's ear will see him arrested for treason. The high priest waves his hand, readying the temple guard for action. Their hands fall to their swords. But Jesus says something else. Jesus says, Show me a denarii. And no one wants to get involved. No one wants to get in trouble. Except then, the Moneychanger comes snaking out of the crowd. Somehow he's got back in, and he's got a smile on his face as bright as the sun.
I've got a denarii for you, teacher. Now answer the question, catch.
And he flicks the coin. A coin that would put food on my table for 3 days. He flicks it into the air as if it were worth nothing at all. And my stomach heaves because I think, what if it falls? What if it gets lost? If you lose that money, you lose that food. And it spins and shines like hope, and Jesus catches it and shows it to the crowd. Whose face is on this coin? He asks.
Caesar's.
Then Jesus says, Give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. And then he flicks the coin back to the Moneychanger, who doesn't know what to say. The Moneychanger looked small with his money bags then, so rich and so worthless at the same time. And then Jesus looks at me, and I don't know what to do. 100 people there, and he's looking at me and understanding everything about me. I lost my husband. I lost him like a limb. I lost myself. But when Jesus looked at me, I felt I had gained something.
Teacher,
says the priest. But now Jesus isn't playing his game anymore. Now he is looking with harder eyes at Caiaphas, who is watching from above. Now his voice is loud. Beware the teachers of the law. They love their robes. They love the respect when they move through the city. They love their important seats in the temple at the banquets. When they pray, you know it, for they have all the words, all the long, long words, all the right words. Words are one thing, but look at what they do. Look at what they do. And he looks at me and says, for all to hear, they devour widows' houses, and these men will be punished most severely. And everyone looks at me. Caiaphas looks at me. The Moneychanger looks at me. Nicodemus, the priest, curious for the first time, he looks at me. They can see my clothes are not what they were. They can see my grief and fear written over every part of me. Bereavement skin. They know what I am. Widow. And now I'm at the chest. Because all this while the 13th cue was moving, and so now I'm at the chest and everybody is looking at me as I'm there by the free will offering, and I'm embarrassed. Because now everyone will see what I will give. I don't have any denarii to put in. I only have 2 pennies. Pathetic. And part of me has Miriam's voice in my head.
Don't go to the temple with your money. Don't.
And I hear his words too. Give to God what is God's. So I give, though my stomach is churning. And then I leave. I have to get out from under their eyes. So I try to scurry away like a yellow-necked mouse, but the crowd is in my way and I'm stuck under their gaze whilst he says, "She has put in more than any of you, for you gave what you had to spare, but she put in all she had to live on." And the crowd parts like the Red Sea. And for a moment I feel like Moses. I felt for the first time that maybe everything would be all right. So I smile at him in thanks, and he turns his hard glare from Caiaphas to me, and he looks at me with kindness. No pity, just kindness. And then I knew everything would be all right. And I wanted to see him again, to hear him again. And I did see him again. Later that week I saw him. But I didn't hear him. For when I next saw him, he could not speak. Because the next time I saw him, he was dead.
This podcast is brought to you by Riding Lights Theatre Company. We believe in the power of theatre and drama to change lives. We take theatre to places it doesn't usually go, and to people who don't usually experience it, including in churches, prisons, schools, and many more places. As part of our work, we run a weekly theatre group for young adults with additional needs and disabilities in York, and an annual summer theatre week open to all. Come and join us for a week of fun, faith, and theatre. To find out more about our work and how you can regularly support us as a member to continue doing all this and more, please click the link in this podcast's show notes or visit www.ridinglights.org. Riding Lights Theatre Company, making theatre that makes a difference.